needs in the draft and possible draft trades. So
Yeah, I think our needs in the draft. You can never have too many defensive linemen, and I believe last year we had 10 defensive linemen up on game day, and I think we even had one or two on the practice squad. So I think edge rusher is definitely it's I think it's a need, but it's also because there are a lot of edge rushers coming out in the draft, and you always want two guys who can rush the passer, especially on the edge. And we were one of the best defenses in the NFL when you had a healthy Nick Bosa, a healthy D Ford, and I think a secondary's best friend is a great pass rush. That means the corners have to cover less when you have those two edge rushers able to get pressure on the quarterback. So I think edge rusher, that would be one of my choices. I think corner, get another young corner in there. I think it's great when you have competition. Competition brings the best out of athletes, and I think they should get a corner. Running back, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a running back. I mean, we've seen within the Kyle Shanahan era that every running back pretty much gets hurt during the season. Like last year, Sermon got hurt, Mitchell got hurt, Oster got hurt. Jeff Wilson Jr. didn't start the season until November. So, you always got to have at least 5 running backs on the team and maybe have one on the practice squad. I would say defensive tackle. I love Kinlaw, but I think we could use some more depth in that position. And I'm not saying maybe our second round pick, our first pick with the defensive tackle, but maybe a day 3 pick, like a 6th or 7th round pick, get a defensive tackle and let Chris Tracera get the best out of that player. Also, we got to get interior offensive linemen. I would love to see, the Niners draft the next center who could be with Trey Lance for the next decade. I think Trey Lance would definitely benefit from that. And a great center anchors the offensive line and helps everyone do their position better. So those would be also tight end too. I think we should get a tight end as well. Someone to compete with Warner and Dwelly, and someone who could be athletic, make great catches and get that yak, because that's what we know the Niners are all about, getting that yak. So hopefully we could bring in a tight end like that, and those are my needs for the draft.
yeah, man, I love it. Yeah, I feel like we definitely. It feels like it's almost agreed through everybody. If you were to just name a good 4 positions where we really need to either add depth or get some people, is not in no particular order, but wide receiver, secondary, O-line, edge. It feels like, those are just the spots. And, if we could come out of this thing, it would be amazing. You never know who we might trade with. Just to talk about a little bit about that, I feel like we always find a way to do stuff with people we know, whether that be the Broncos and maybe John Elway knowing John Lynch, the Shanahan ties. It feels like there's always something with the Broncos. You could add Miami to the mix from last year, and then McDaniels going over there. I feel like you're always gonna just keep in your back pocket of people you know. You got the Jets with Saleh over there, so I feel like if there are some kind of trades, I feel like we're gonna keep it similar to what we've always kind of done. It feels like there's always some kind of noise with the Colts as well too, whether it's just speculation or the debug thing. But if I were to say any particular teams who we have a possibility, I would say it's probably one of those teams, the Dolphins, Broncos, Jets, or Colts, someone like that. Hey, keep the eye out for the Panthers. Adam Peters went over there last year, and I know some people are kind of like, hey, you would never talk a year beforehand. Why would they go get Sam Darnold if they were talking a whole year before about Jimmy Garoppolo, yada, yada. But, hey, they had 2 interviews. I felt like it was a smoke screen on him actually getting hired. Who knows? But I know he went over there twice next year. So I would, and I predicted last year that's who we would trade up with to get Trey. We wound up doing it with the Falcons. Miami, excuse me. So the Falcons couldn't get him, was what we was kind of, thrown out there. But hey, watch out for the Niners and Panthers.